Universal social charge. From the 1st of January 2012, the Universal Social Charge, or USC, is calculated on a cumulative basis. Prior to this, since its introduction in 2011, it was calculated on a week one basis. The USC rates. If an employee earns less than €10,036 in a tax year, they will be exempt from USC. Anyone earning in excess of €10,036 in a year will be liable to USC charge. The first €10,036 or €193 on a weekly basis will be liable to the 2% charge. The next €5,980 of an individual's income or €115 on a weekly basis will be liable to 4%, and the balance of an individual's income in excess of 101,036 and 5980 will be liable to 7%. In example 1 here. In this example, we're looking at an individual with a gross pay of €250. Because the €250 does not exceed €308, which is the cut-off point for the 4%, we know that all this income will be liable to 2% and 4%. It will not be liable to 7%. So just working off our tables, the first €193 is going to be liable to 2%, and the balance of the pay not exceeding up to and including €308 will be 4%. So this is got by subtracting the €250 less the €193 cut off, which is 57, is liable to 4%, giving a total USC charge for this particular week of €6.14. In example 2, we have a gross pay of €450. Because the gross pay in this week exceeds the €308 cut off at 4%, we know that a portion of this pay is going to be liable to 7%. So working off our tables, we have the first €193 is going to be liable to 2%. The next €115, which brings us up to €308, is going to be liable to 4% charge, and the balancing figure, which is €450 less the 308, which is the 193 and the 115, comes to €142, and that's going to be liable to the 7% charge, giving a total USC figure of €18.40. Exemptions. If an individual's total income is less than €10,036 in any year, they will be exempt from the USC charge. Please note that this only applies to exemptions upon receipt of a valid tax cert from the Revenue Commissioner. So from the employer's point of view, unless you receive a valid tax cert from the Revenue Commissioners stating that this employee is exempt from USC, the exemption must not be operated. Also note that employees over 70 years of age will only pay up to a maximum of 4%, and employees with full medical cards will also only pay a maximum of 4% USC. The 7% charge will not apply to over 70s or to full medical card holders. The basis of USC. Generally speaking, USC is calculated on the same basis as PAYE. So if you have an employee on the cumulative basis of PAYE, they will also be on the cumulative basis of USC. If they're on a week one basis of PAYE, they will be on a week one basis of USC. And if they're on emergency basis of PAYE, they will be on an emergency basis of USC. The only exception to the rule is where an exemption certificate is issued. So you may come across a situation where the employee is earning less than €10,036, but their PAYE will be on a cumulative basis and they'll be exempt from USC. And please note that tax certificates will include USC cut-off points. They will also include PAYE cut-off points and tax credits. And also note that using the emergency USC basis, that all income will be charged at 7% and no cut-off points will apply. And finally, there are some categories of income that are exempt from USC. The first category being any payments received from the social welfare are exempt, any reimbursed expenses to the employee or any payment of travel and subsistence are not liable to USC. Statutory redundancy payments are exempt from USC, and any salary sacrifice payments, for example, any employee participating in the Cycle to Work scheme or the Travel Pass scheme, this amount will not be liable to USC.